Okay, so now that I'm audible, anybody watching this, you'll notice this setup is a little bit different than most of my streams in general. That's because we're not playing a game, we're actually making one this time. Um, so, where do I start? Sheesh. Had a couple ideas and now they're just out the window. Um, I guess we can start here with the Steam Play Store listing. Um, you'll notice this is a little janky looking. It's kind of sketchy. I did rush through it when I did it. I just wanted to have a game up so that I could work with their server systems and their community plugins and blah 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 blah. I wanted to learn about integrating with Steam into a game. But it turned into a lot more than that. I ended up working on it for quite a while, and then you'll see September 11th of 2022 is the last time I pushed an update to Steam. We broke a lot of functionality in the replication and in the server systems, so honestly, what I decided at that moment as a solo developer, I mean, I had some other guys working on art assets and some map design, but the code was by and large just me and some plugins and some libraries that I pulled off the community. And what I learned very quickly was I didn't know what I was doing. Like, I love programming. I've been a programmer. I learned to program when I was like 5 to start. I started with Python 2. Um, Very, very, very involved in my life the whole way through. So, like, programming itself seemed like it should be the easy part. And I assumed that the art and the assets and the animation and making the game look good and marketing it and blah, 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 blah was going to end up being the really hard part, you know? But what I found instead was 1,000 people I hadn't met already wanted to play my game, but my game was trash. So I took a step back and I realized that, well, marketing isn't what I need right now. I don't have a product. Um, Further than that, that was about it. I just decided that Steam didn't need my game every update until it was something that was worth playing again, because where I had gotten it to was not something worth playing anymore. So I took a step back and I decided to start working on a bunch of frameworks to kind of hone my, I guess, multiplayer programming and my game development programming versus just I'm making UI or I'm making some sort of server connection or I'm digging through a database for this record or blah 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 blah. You're actually doing something that the user's going to see every step of, and your user's computer is going to have to handle every step of. And well, for some of my friends, that meant they just couldn't play my game because I was using Unreal 5's preview and I had done zero optimization. We had billions of polygons in every single scene. I mean, look at some of these screenshots. This should not be crashing someone's computer. This is not high poly at all, but because of the way we did the characters, the guns, the environment itself, some of the particle effects even, it was just way too heavy. So instead of coming back to this now that I have all of my other frameworks done that I want to eventually release games on, and we can get to those at some point in these streams, I'm sure. Specifically, if we get a couple more developers on it onto a team, I would really love to see what somebody else could do with some of the tools that I've created. I'm fairly proud of them, but I don't have the time to make 15 games. I had time to make 15 frameworks in 2 years, and if one of those turns into a game in 5, amazing. If it doesn't, then I'm a better programmer now, and we can finish Demon's Run. And that's where we're at now. I'm restarting development. I have an insane number of feature branches with different, um, well, I mean, features, or bugs that I've worked out, or blah, 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 blah. My favorite phrase of the day. To kind of work some of this shit back into the main branch and make it into a playable game, and to get a demo up that is playable by hopefully you guys, because I tore apart my Discord. I destroyed every trace of this game because 1,000 people trying to play a broken game is not a good look for me. If you request access right now, and you can request access, you will sit in the queue until I have a playable demo up, and then we'll let you in right away. You won't even have to wait. You don't even have to message me. You just go to Steam, you find this listing, you request access. I won't be letting you in for a while. Sorry. We are looking at, like, I am looking at potentially the first of next month, maybe doing our first playtest in 3, 7, 8 months. Yeah, our first playtest in 8 months. There is some pretty substantial changes. If anybody did play the OG beta or alpha, it was definitely an alpha. But I think it's a much better game thus far, and actually we can kind of get into what that's looking like right now. So if I pull up Unreal Engine, I talked a bit about some of the frameworks I started to work on, and a lot of the plugins and libraries that I've gotten access to over the last couple of years. For anybody that isn't an indie developer at all, but has any sort of interest, if you go into Epic Games, this launcher that you play Rocket League and Fortnite from, and you go to this Unreal Engine tab and this Marketplace tab, this changes every month. If you ever wanted to get into game development in any occupation whatsoever, come here, like, the 10th. Come here today. Set an alarm for today, once a month, to just come back here and look at this. Because, I mean, this is a $120 asset that I actually paid for in cash, like, a year ago. I didn't pay $100 for it. It was early in its development cycle, but the fact that it's $120 now, and I'm telling you it's worth $120 now, it's free. Just go get it. Literally, just go get it. It's amazing. You can do some hilarious things with just a procedural world generator and the base character built into Unreal Engine. Like, literally, you load up UE5 for the first time ever. You download this plugin. You follow the tutorial real quick. You have something playable you can send to your friends, and it's funny. And it's cool. And honestly, it's really cool. Anyway, you can watch their tutorials or their videos or even their reviews. They've got a ton of stuff on what to even do with this, specifically this endless procedural world generator. Or any of the other assets in the marketplace. I can let you guys dig into that, at least. But I seriously, if you think any of this is cool at all, go check that out immediately. Now, that being said, I mentioned I have a few Demons feature branches that we've been working on, but for now I'm just gonna pull up what we're calling Demons 5.1, which is currently our master branch that we're working towards, and we'll be migrating a lot of the old code into this. Maybe not migrating, probably redoing, to be honest with you, but this is built from a template. There are a lot of modifications made to this. The template itself is only like $30 or something like that. It's really just for getting into the lobby and having a shooting system, but everything about the shooting system had to be reworked. We need a create game, and we'll throw some bots in, and we'll make it We'll make it a search and destroy. Everybody loves search and destroy. The new game mode we're working on is search and destroy based, but it's very modified, and I think it's fun. I would like to think that you guys will think it's fun. If it's not, we'll break it until it is. But the base game mode right now only has 3 classes. We're gonna go with the support, I guess. The classes also don't really make a difference currently. The only reason they're in is for setup for next, because they will do something. The damage modifiers on everything about this really need to go down. I want the time to kill to be much, much longer, I think. I also believe we're going to be working towards making this a little more MOBA-like, where you start off with very, very cheap weapons and will be upgrading through, I mean, the current tree that you've seen. There's shotguns and SMGs and assault rifles and you name it, but we've also got higher poly, more intricate, detailed weapon models that I think we can use very easily to make, rather than gun skins like we were going to do originally, instead make, I guess, weapon variants be the way to go about it. The idea is to have an upgrade tree for each class, where you can pick one of maybe 3 weapons and then upgrade them into bigger, better, more powerful weapons that maybe have other abilities. Maybe we've got a shotgun that does some omnivamp. Maybe we've got a pistol with tracer rounds. Maybe a shotgun that shoots fire. Who knows? But the idea is to upgrade the weapon damage in addition to mag size and its actual effects and whatnot. Like, every aspect of the weapon should be modifiable, which hopefully doesn't make balancing too difficult. The other thing currently is our ultimates are tied to kill streaks, which I still need to stop from resetting. Our abilities are not very interesting. I think one just drops a med pack, another just drops some ammo or something, which also isn't going to work because there was the concept thrown out by a couple of our I guess we'll say privileged beta testers, to tie mana and ammo together, which I guess that's a poor way of saying it, but the idea is your ammo would slowly recharge and your abilities like your grenade and whatnot would cost you ammo. I'm not sure still how I feel on that aspect, because if you run out of ammo, you no longer have abilities, and that means you're knifing people or you're dead. And for some characters that could be very, very interesting, and for others that could just mean you're dead in the water wherever you're at, and that's not really a fun thing ever, I feel like. I don't know that I've ever had fun feeling like I'm stranded in the middle of nowhere with nothing on me. Like, at that point, you're kind of just playing a survival game. Which isn't bad, because obviously I'm bad at surviving. But it's not interesting. It does mean you'll die fairly quickly, unless your ammo really refills that fast. There's like a glitched out shader there for a second. I'm just not sure. That being said, if we do end up the more MOBA side of things, clearing waves with a limited ammo supply would increase the difficulty of the game quite substantially. And I do think that that is in the nature of most MOBAs. They do intentionally seem to try to make the game, I don't want to say as difficult as possible, because there are some quality of life changes that we've seen many of them make. Specifically, Smite comes to mind, to try to make the game a little bit easier. But to the same extent, recently in that game specifically, they opened up the way that camps work, increasing the complexity and the difficulty of the game, which is an interesting move for a 15-year-old MOBA. I'm not gonna lie. Making your game more difficult when you're theoretically not getting as many new players is a really big move. But it seems to be working for them, so. That being said, I'm not sure what else I have to say on the matter at the moment. We do have some big changes coming, and hopefully we'll be working on showing those off, mostly on Sundays. I meant to be on last night to do that, but, you know, ran into some issues getting set up. Yeah, I guess I'm just gonna play the rest of this Search and Destroy out and show you guys why I don't stream Valorant. Oh, you'll notice this guy was purple. That's because I have a purple skin set up for the medic character on the red class only. That was honestly just a test to see if that's something we can even do, to set up a specific skin for red team only and blue team only. I think that could add some fun into what we can do with skins. Oh, they planted over there. Oh, they killed them all. GG, my bots are better than me. Create a game. There we go. Okay, so last bit. This game will work on Steam specifically. It will be free to play, at least through its alpha beta cycle. Early access should definitely be free. We need as many testers as we can get. I don't know if we'll be putting a price point on this game because I don't want to overload it with microtransactions, but I have put 3 years of my life into it already, and 2 years of my life into it already. And it's not even close to done, so it will need to have some artists brought in, and we will have to pay some people, so I'm gonna need a method of capitalizing on that. But that feels a little ways in the future, so if anybody has any interest in testing this game at all, or if they have any ideas, we do have a number of game modes already, which Rush is a little bit new for a lot of people. If you run out of tickets, it's like old Battlefield, or if anybody played Unreal Tournaments, I think it was called Siege mode. Very similar. Good old confirmed, some team deathmatch, we've got capture the flag, and then free-for-all deathmatch and search and destroy. And obviously you can't have a first-person shooter without a conquest game mode. At least not in my opinion. It's too necessary. It's good. It's a good game mode, and I don't think that'll ever get overrun by anything more simplistic. I mean, capture the flag tried, but it's not balanced enough or balanceable enough. Hopefully some of these ability systems change that a little bit, but as we saw in Overwatch, that wasn't quite the case. But yeah, if you have any game mode ideas, weapon ideas, character ideas, if you've got some new ingenious way we can roll money off this game without saddling it on the players, I'm all ears. I mean, Overwatch's loot box system was amazing, but they charged $50 for that game at the time, so I don't want to charge $50 for this. I can't fathom it. But to the same extent, I don't want to have $50 knives in my game either. Cough riot. Either way, we've got a ton of ideas, a ton of stuff coming out, and if you have any other ideas or requests, or you want to see the game, or you want to try it out, or you want to hop in one of the beta test groups, do feel free to drop a comment, either here on Twitch or YouTube, and this gets reposted. Other than that, guys, thanks for putting up with me and taking a look at my game. Obviously you see template in the top left corner there. It all looks kind of goofy and chintzy right now, and we've got errors all over the place still. But it is coming along. We are making a lot ahead of them. Yeah, we know. I do have 2 artists that are working on a map currently for a new game mode. I don't even have a name for it, or I just said that. But it's different. It's very different. Initially what we were going to do was make Overwatch's push mode as a game, as a hero shooter. We started on this 2 years ago. Overwatch's game mode stuff hadn't come out yet, and Shatterline didn't exist yet. Now I've played that, and I can't compete. That game's good. I like Shatterline a lot. It's pretty cool. But, so we came up with a new game mode. We actually came up with a couple new game modes. Hopefully you can't read too much on my board behind me. But that, I think, we will be trying to show off next month when we do the beta test. So stay tuned. Try to get a hold of me so we can get you in one of those beta tests, and maybe you can help me test it out. Anyway, y'all, that's all I got. So ta-ta for now.